Hello, YouTube. This is Keith Kevin Ken. It's time to talk about this. This is the brand new Spyderco Pattada. It's their new entry into their ethnic series. It just came out about a week ago. Oh, and I have fallen in love with the Pattada. It came out a week ago along with the little Lum from the famous knife maker Bob Lum, the late great Bob Lum. We'll talk about this in another video. If you want to see me talk about the Pattada and the little Lum and some of my other new purchases, you can check out on the Keith Kevin Ken channel that you're watching right now my playlist of pocket dumps. There are over 80 of them. 80 videos in the playlist. You can also check out any of the videos you want. I posted a Pattada and Lum video about a week ago, so check that out. But let's talk about this new Pattada. I'll tell you, here's a couple of things that always happens when Spyderco comes out with a knife for their ethnic series. First of all, I get very excited. Second of all, my guess is most other people don't. The Ethnic series is a wonderful collection from Spyderco. Some of the great knife makers put together these traditional knives from all around the globe. They take these traditional knives that existed for centuries in these communities, put it together with these modern knife materials, and present them as a Spyderco knife. And I love them all. They're creative. They're wonderful. Only a couple of them make it into a daily EDC carry because they are so unique. And I think that's probably why a lot of people don't talk about them. But let me tell you something. The Pattada is all about the EDC. And it's tactical as well. So let's talk about it. First of all, I usually like medium knives and not a biggie like this. But let's talk about the Pattada. Oh my goodness. First, the Pattada is a traditional knife that comes from a large island off the Mediterranean. It's an Italian island. This knife was produced in Italy. The blade steel is an Italian steel, N690C. A nice steel. The body, and I'll tell you, usually when you say G10 to me and probably to you, you don't go, yay, a G10 knife, yay. I mean, I love G10, especially the rough G10. It's inexpensive. It gives you a good grip. But what Spyderco did, and by the way, Sal Glasser, the founder of Spyderco, researched and put together the Pattada. And like all of the knives in the Ethnic series, it was done, I'm sure, with a lot of love and a lot of work. So let's talk about the Pattada and why I'm so excited about this Ethnic series knife. First of all, this is G10, but it is molded G10. It is the best feeling G10 that I have felt in so long. Oh man, it's just so classy. Someone responded to my Instagram. My Instagram is at Keith Kevin Ken if you want to check out the feed. They responded to my Instagram saying that they had handled the Pattada and they still remember how beautiful that G10 was. It feels, unbelievable. That's the first thing. It just feels wonderful. It has stainless steel liners. That's the second thing. It feels wonderful in the hand and it has some weight. It is not heavy, but it's not too light either. Now, it's all about preferences, but I have to tell you, lately, Spyderco has been doing it, so has a lot of the other makers that I love. They have been skeletonizing the hell out of liners. And that's great because if it's an EDC, you don't want it to be too heavy. You don't want to have to be thinking about all the time. But sometimes I like the heft, a little bit of heft. So there's no way I'm going to show you this with this camera. But these are full liners, and how they skeletonized it is unbelievable. So there's a round hole right here cut out right here in this in this liner. There's another one on the other side there, hole. There's a round hole around here in the liner, and then one around here in the liner. The rest is solid liner. So it gives it this wonderful balance. It really does. And a nice little heft, but it is not heavy. It just lets you know it's there. I just love it. And it's so thin that it feels great. There's the guard. Again, the touches that make it a traditional knife. Now, the traditional knife is usually a fixed blade knife, or it's a non-locking friction folder. Of course, here it is a locking knife, and it has that liner lock. Liner locks are not my favorite locks, but this one is easy to get to and very smooth. Here's the other thing. I took this out of the box brand new, and my mind now protects me. But whenever I get a knife and I unlock it, I give it a little tap. The first time I gave this thing a tap expecting it to be stiff, it almost cut me. This thing, look how light. And it's not because and look at the detent. Great detent, great locking, smooth right out of the box. And of course, sharp as you know what, because it's Spyderco. Look how smooth that knife is. This is a production knife. It's just great. I love the details that come off of the old knife. The guard right there to protect you. The little guard in the back for pulling. Really interesting blade shape. This Italian steel is wonderful. I have it on a number of other knives. It has that belly. Look at that belly. And then it comes to a really fine tip. But it's not a tip that you can't use. Okay? I'm going to show you one of the Ethnic series knives that I love. But the tip is so thin that Spyderco gave you a warning about it. This can be used as an EDC. That blade, that belly is really nice. Real slicing that you can do. And I'll tell you, hey folks, what a nice tactical blade as well. With that blade that then expands. It's a very good self-defense knife. But it feels so nice. Can you see me? And then Spyderco did something that really made me happy. They gave it the right clip. They gave it that deep carry wire clip. This, my friends, I usually don't fall in love this fast. You know, you have to take me out to dinner, wine and dine me, wait till the third date. But this one had me, man, at hello. It feels better. This is one of those things where the expectations were great. I have every ethnic knife that Spyderco put out in the series. I'm going to continue my series, goody, goody, goody. I didn't know that I would have a knife that I just love. I carried it the next day, and I didn't want to take it out of my pocket. So let's talk about it, okay? I told you, or maybe I didn't, it has a 3.9-inch blade. The full length is 8.7 inches. You know what? I hate when people do that on videos. I don't know what that is. I don't have a ruler in my hand, so let's give it some real-time comparisons. Here's the Spyderco Endura 4. I'm going to try to line up the blades as much as possible. So, yeah, kind of like an Endura 4. Here is the Paramilitary 2. So it's bigger than the Paramilitary 2. It looks like, yes, the Endura is a little longer in the handle, but you can see the blade is kind of the same. We can look at the Umnumzun. I'm trying to get knives that you probably, if you don't own, you're very aware of. And so you can see the size. So you can see the Umnumzun from Chris Reeve. And here we have a Chris Reeve large Sabenza 21. So it's kind of in that Endura size. When you put all of these blades together, you can see its unique shape as well with that belly going to that very thin tip. I love it. I'll tell you, It can do some cutting. It can do your regular cutting. Yes, it has a thin tip, so you're not going to pry anything with it, but it's really great. And talk about tactical. It's a really nice tactical knife as well. I love it, folks. It is the Spyderco Pattada. That's what it is. It is Spyderco's new member of their ethnic series. They just released it last week. I'm recording this in May 1st, 2016. There are a lot of knives coming out from Spyderco. Stay tuned to the Keith Kevin Ken channel. In fact, why don't you hit that subscriber button and become a part of our crew so they can give you a notice, because I have bought a lot of 2016 Spyderco knives and it's only the first quarter of this year. I'm going to do a video, part 1, new 2016 Spyderco knives. I'm going to do that video and put it up in a couple of days. So subscribe so you know when it's up. And every time the next quarter comes, we'll do that. And as I buy any knife, I always do a mail call video. This is going to be an epic year. It's the 40th anniversary of Spyderco. They're coming out with some great knives, including that Sage 5. But I am just thrilled with the Pattada. I hope you are too. Hey, I'm just going to, before we leave, I'm going to put out some of the other favorites from the Chris Reeve. I'm not going to talk about them because I'm going to do a special video of the Chris Reeve ethnic knives. But here are some of my favorite ethnic knives that every time I open up a Pelican case and take these out, I hate putting them back in. You can see the creativity. You can see all of the work that has been put in with the collaborations of some great knife makers. Look at those blade shape, folks. I love that a production company as big as Spyderco still is deep into their history and want to bring these wonderful shapes to us in knives. Hey, check out the Pattada. It won't break the bank, and it's a nice keeper. EDC Tactical feels great. I really love it. Hey, thanks a lot for catching up with the Pattada here on the Keith Kevin Ken channel. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to thumb this video up if you enjoy it. Don't forget to become a part of our crew here by hitting that subscribe button. You guys have a perfect day. Goodbye.